as their tasks involving core. The Youth Empowerment Officer deals with logistics regarding the conference, which includes, but is not limited to, Price Center, event services, and TAC. Whereas the Youth Outreach Officer has tasks geared towards outreaching high schools and promoting events in addition to being the official liaison to the student-initiated access programs and services, otherwise known as SHAPES. As co-coordinators, these officers, along with KP Core Board, are responsible for planning quarterly shadow days and encore in spring. So due to time constraints, we're going to reduce the amount of time that each candidate has answering each question. You will each have 1 minute to answer the question.
That's kind of unfair.
I apologize for the inconvenience, but we are on a tight schedule. So, running for Yoko, we have Nikki, Josiah, and Nikko. And then one note, if I raise my finger, you have 30 seconds left.
Oh shit.
What about
Hi all, my name is Nikko Gutierrez. I'm a first year from Warren College, and I'm running for Yoko. I really want to run for Yoko because I was really active in high school, and I volunteered a lot of my time. And one of the biggest projects I did throughout the 4 years was tutoring students in 7th and 8th grade. For certain kids, when they apply to schools, for high schools, they have a thing called the HSPT, and that's the high school placement test. And what I did was I helped tutor them in math and English and kind of like served as a mentor. And I did that for all 4 years. And as a senior, I coordinated that whole event. And that really stuck to me. And being away from that kind of volunteering aspect of my life as a freshman, I really miss a sense of belonging and a sense of purpose in life. And I feel like being in UCSD, sometimes I forget at least, that we're in a kind of bubble. And I kind of want to make sure that I'm helping other people and not just doing things just for myself. That's the main reason why I want to run for Yoko, because I want to help those little kids, be able to succeed. And I was given a lot of opportunities in high school, and I want to be able to help them out as much as I was helped out.
Hello everyone, I am Josiah Faustino. I am also a first year from Warren College. And the reason why I am running for this position is, well, I do have an intense desire to help others, and I have a passion for seeing the development and growth that, I don't know, I find it really gratifying seeing others grow. I sort of want to reiterate something that Quee Donald said last year during his Q&A. He stated that we need a lot more critical minds, and I feel like through this position I can reach out to these high school students and through that sort of develop an intrinsic motivation going into college. We don't want these students to go into college thinking that they're pressured with the extrinsic values, such as their parents want them to go down this particular path. No, we want them to have this passion instilled in them from the very start once they enter the college environment, and because there is a current issue with a lot of current students today. They don't quite understand what they want to do, and that's rather unfortunate because I mean, it is okay that they end up changing majors, but there are the consequences due to the fact that if they take a major in a different discipline, they'll have to end up taking more time into school, and that can lead to more issues with financial aid. And I think that by reaching out to the students at an earlier time period, they can maybe discover more about themselves and reach into their passions and potentially succeed in their college experience.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikki, representing Team Warren over here.
Okay, Warren!
I'm also applying for Yoko. My first taste of KP was when I was a sophomore in high school, and I went to high school conference. It was kind of that foot that dipped into the pool and was like, you know what, this is something special. And being a facilitator this year, for this year's, or last year's high school conference, really opened my eyes and made me realize that I have an opportunity to reach out to high school kids, and not even limited in the San Diego area, but I mean, it doesn't matter. And I love to help people. That's like my #1 goal. I always put myself before others. Sometimes it's bad, but I mean, I just want to give back. And I learned so much through younger individuals. And one of my mottos is inspired to be inspired. Because when you go out of your way to help someone, you find yourself more than they kind of find themselves. And I hope that next year I can make that change. I can establish these connections with people outside of this space. And I hope that I can at least touch one person's life the way that older people have touched mine.
So, opening the floor to Yoko. We'll do
No, you first.
Dale, and then come on.
Okay.
So, as Yoko, you not only serve on KP board, but you also serve on core board as well. What is your understanding of what KP core does, and how do you plan to contribute to its overall mission besides high school conference?
Can you repeat the last one?
How do you plan to contribute to core's overall mission besides your main event, high school conference?
That's Nikki.
Okay, so KP Core reaches out to those that are underprivileged, and what they do is they empower for education. And that goes through their programs, through workshops, through tutoring, through various programs. But to my understanding, the position isn't called High School Conference Coordinator. And you're a youth empowerment. What the heck? That's weird. But to finish that, my understanding of it is just to go beyond high school conference and to network with people outside of the conference, to go beyond, to go to other schools and say, hey, we're not just limited to this one event, we'll reach out to you as much as we can through all that stuff.
Could you repeat the question again?
So what is your understanding of what KP Core does, and how do you plan to contribute to its overall mission statement besides high school conference?
Okay. So I can't say that I'm an expert on everything that Core does. I've only been in the space for 2 months, but I do understand that that mentors visit on a weekly basis and provide workshops. They help mentor the students, help them with personal problems that they face. And I feel like that that yes, we have high school conference, but we need that consistent that face. We need that consistent face for the students, so that we act as access for them to enter into the college application process, and just to alleviate the stresses that they have, like completing the A through G requirements, or trying to sort of weave their way around even the private school requirements. I think it's really important that we act as that resource for them, and we open them up to the potential resources that they'll have once they enter the college campus.
Well, HSC is, if you really think about it, HSC is a minute part of being Yoko, because being Yoko is a whole year thing and HSC is 1 weekend. What you're doing is you're going to these schools every week and you're trying to empower these kids. How do you empower these kids? You talk to them. You need to understand what's going on in their lives. And I think what Yoko's job is to connect us, a great group of KP students who are good looking, smart, intelligent, and help them understand what they need to get to where we are today. Because they could be lost, they could be confused, they don't know what's going on. When I was in high school, I was grateful. I was so grateful that I had counselors, I had my parents, I had a strong support group. And a lot of these kids don't have that. And a lot of these kids go through a lot of struggles that aren't being addressed. And what our role is to just help them and say, hey, what do you need? Like, you don't want to go to school or you can't go to school. Why can't you go to school? You don't have money? There's scholarships. You can get a job. There's so many different ways. Like, help me help you get to college.
Help me help you.
Help me help you. A really long one, but what is your understanding of access? What is one particular moment where you felt discriminated as a student of color within the education system? How do you feel, and how do you plan on preventing that particular situation happening to other students?
So before you start, you got 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question again?
So, what is your understanding of access? What was one particular moment where you felt discriminated as a student of color within the education system? How did that make you feel, and how do you plan on preventing that particular situation happening to other students?
My understanding of access is that there's resources available, and there are there are liaisons to those resources, and that is our job as Yokos to act as these liaisons. And I think it's really important that they understand this because, like Nikko said, he was really fortunate to have counselors and teachers. I was really fortunate to have those as well, introducing us to the college application process, and that's what these students need because it is really vague, the college application process. Some schools, they're sort of forced to sort of fend for themselves because they don't understand how the grants work, how financial aid, scholarships, and stuff like that. So we are there to provide these resources for these students. And as far as being discriminated, I fortunately never felt an issue with being a student of color because in my high school we were actually a majority Filipino, 30%, which is actually the largest. So I never